shit. You know what I'm saying? So, like, first, I just want you to introduce yourself and tell a little bit about yourself before we get into the interview.
Okay. Well, everybody, my name is Angela Stanton King, and I am Jaybz's mom, the original Dun Dada. Please believe it. What else they need to know?
Nothing, just tell, like, a little bit about yourself, where you from, like, you know.
Okay, so everybody, well, I'm originally from Atlanta. So my mom lived in Atlanta her whole life. Then she met my dad. They had a romance, moved to Buffalo, had me. I lived there until I was about 17. Then came back down here to Georgia and began having my little rugrats, and Jay happens to be one of them. And I've been here ever since. Now, when I was younger, I was a hustler. I don't know if many of you have read my story. I mean, I was a stunt kid. This is when the kids first start coming to Georgia, when the gays first started coming to Atlanta, and everything was all about paperwork. So a lot of my friends were gays, and that's what we did. And I ended up going to prison, and spent some time in prison, being separated from my family. And I was pregnant with Javian's younger sister when I went in, and ended up, giving birth.
And one thing I would like to clarify, because am I echoing, or who's echoing, y'all, in the comments? Really quick, I wanted to pause you because I really want them to hear this part. I'm echoing, or she is? Marty, you got your phone on something?
Yeah.
Try to, like, pick it up, because when you sit it down, it echoes.
I'm not finna sit here and hold no phone now.
No, you don't have to hold it, but, like, prop it up so it's not directly on a flat surface.
Okay.
In this area, Bishop made that clear that he.
Or better yet, turn your phone down a little bit.
Turn it down.
And if you need to talk on your other Zoom meeting, let me know, and I can mute you. That way you're not, you know what I'm saying?
I'm trying to see what's going on. I'm trying to hear and make sure.
Of the criminal system.
Okay, so back to the central theme. Unmute Zay really quickly. Or what did he say? Oh, hold on. But okay, so back to you in your youth. First of all, you going to jail has been quite the controversial topic on here for, like, a long time. People had, like, a lot to say about it. So first, to clear up. I know, but just first to clear up.
They don't go to jail.
Exactly.
And worry about their people, their parents and brothers and sisters that done been in jail. Okay.
Okay, so
you want your mama Angie, or you want congressional candidate Angie?
No, I just want you to be you. I just want you to be you, because people have this misconception of you, and me bringing you on here is to clear up the stigmas. So that's what this is for. Firstly, what did you go to jail for? Like, for some reason, there's been a lot of common misconceptions. It's public knowledge, but what did you go to jail for? And, like, tell that.
Well, we're not going to tell the whole story, because we are authors and we do sell books. So we, of course, want them to purchase the book, Life of a Real Housewife, for those of you that haven't, because I've told the whole story. But I went to jail because, I wanted money, and I was lazy, and I didn't want to work for it. And I wanted to put on, and I wanted to get money the quick way. And, of course, a lot of you know that I was caught up in the whole scam with Phaedra and Apollo from Housewives of Atlanta, which was years ago. But I went to prison, did all my time, 10 toes down, never snitched, ratted, none of that. And while I was serving time in the state, the feds was preparing a case against me. So then when I got released from state prison, the feds were at the back door. The feds arrested me. By the time I got to court, got my discovery, all of that, I learned that I was the one that had been framed for the federal case. They basically told the judge that I was the mastermind and that everyone worked for me. So, of course, I wasn't going for that. I decided to get smart, and so I wrote a book.
Mom, tap that bag on your screen. Tap it.
What the bag do?
It's a bean.
Okay, so bam. Told the story, became a national best-selling author, ended up getting sued for $30 million the next day after the book was released. Had to go to court for 4 years to litigate that case, ended up winning that case, then got the reality show on BET that was produced by Queen Latifah and Nikki Gilbert, and now I'm here. So coming home from prison, it was hard, because I came straight home and got my babies. I wasn't the type of mama that was just like, let me worry about me. I came straight home, Didn't I come right to get you? You was sitting right there on the steps waiting on me.
And also another thing I want to segue into is speaking on that, the whole
input on and being a part of helping us to set that path.
Okay, so one thing I wanted to segue into, the whole Two Tombstones thing, where you played your TMZ clip. Of course, you know, this being a subculture, people be reading. A lot of people found it funny, but I know to us that's not a really funny story. We can talk about it now.
Because while I was incarcerated,
well, tell them about that.
Listen, bruh, let me tell the story the way I want to tell the story. Okay, please, thank you. See, he forget I'm the mama. Sometimes he want to feel like
this my platform.
Okay, so listen.
Okay.
While I was in prison, my mother passed away. She had a heart attack, and 6 months after my mother passed away, my grandmother passed away. So when I say I came home to 2 tombstones, that is literally the truth, because during the time I was incarcerated, if you guys remember the Brian Nichols story, he had shot up the courthouse and they wouldn't transport any prisoners. So for me personally, I never really had that chance to say goodbye, and I never really got that closure. So when I came home, the only thing I came home to was my children. We had lost everything because my mother had passed away and my grandmother, and 3 bags of clothes. I mean, I went to 2 tombstones, my mom in one and my grandmother in the other. But at the end of the day, I'm still standing, right? So we are all going to go through hardships in life. But the most important thing is that you are still able to stand and make something out of yourself. Okay, son, go ahead. What would you like for me to discuss?
Okay, so no, I just kind of wanted you to explain that, because that's whether you don't really know, but that's a reoccurring thing on here. And they
just do that to try to aggravate you. You can't let it aggravate you.
The story behind it, like, I just like it. I never found anything about that funny, and of course you key about it, because you got to move on.
No, but it's not funny. Not when you lose a loved one.
That's our. It seemed it was a dramatic TV show. It was reality TV. As you know, reality TV is very scripted and very produced. It's for drama. So when you see that TV show and you see those interviews, me and my mom, those were some problems that we had, but a lot of it was not really as dramatic as it seemed. It was very much produced to seem dramatic. You know what I'm saying? It was very much produced to seem as if me and my mom were just heavily getting into it. And that we had our moments where we got into it, but like for some reason that TV show has kind of painted the narrative that my mom just didn't like me, or that I had a mom that just didn't love me. Of course, she just explained, and she's on her little interview right now, and we had to book it at the same time, because if I didn't catch her now, I was never gonna catch her. But it kind of produced a narrative that me and my mom didn't like each other, or that my mom didn't love me, or that any way, shape, or form she didn't care about her kids. And I just kind of want her to elaborate on that and, you know, tell the true teeth behind that. Because for me, it was just honestly, it was a dramatic-based TV show. Of course, me coming out and my mom being more of a conservative person and having more conservative views, it did kind of like, you know, it rocked our world a little bit. But I feel like my mom always knew I was gay, even from me being like a young age. But growing up over time, you know, whether people want to admit it or not, whether people want to say it or not, a lot of y'all may key on me about it, but if y'all moms have public platforms and they were expressing how they truly feel, let's just keep it a buck. A lot of our moms don't want us to be gay. That's something a lot of our moms don't really wish on us, or they don't really want that for us. And if you're lying, or if you're saying that's not true, you know that it's true. And it may not be true for some of y'all specifically, but I know for a lot of y'all it is true. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like when we were younger, it was kind of like a harder patch. Or you can tell a little bit about it as me being younger and me getting older, and you come to terms with the fact that I was gay and me coming out to
well,
you. And
I mean, for me personally, as your mom, I mean, in all honesty, I kind of always knew, like, you were the younger of my boys. I had 3 sons, and Jaybz has 2 older brothers, so I knew he was different. Like, his brothers wanted to go play football, they wanted to get dirty. Jaybz didn't want to get his hands dirty. Jaybz was always around the girls, so I kind of knew that he was gonna be different. But again, being a child, in my home, we just weren't going to focus on sexuality. I think to me, it was more important for him to understand who he was, to be confident in himself, to focus on school, to understand what it is that he's going to need to survive in life. And once I knew he had that down in him, then I knew that he was ready for the world. And I mean, and just making sure that he was tough, because I already knew, I'm like, okay, so son, you're a black man. Okay, so if you feel as though that you're gonna live this type of lifestyle, then you know you're gonna be targeted twice. So I need to make sure that you can handle yourself, make sure that you ain't no punk, and you always know how to take care of yourself. That's my job as a mom. I've always been very, very stern with Jay, which is where he gets that from. I've never bit my tongue. I've always said it exactly how I felt. And my thing was, you know, regardless of how you choose to live your life, even if you do decide that you want to be a gay man or whatever, just never forget that you're a man, because mama needs you. Mama needs you to be her man. You
and
my
another
man.
thing I want you to elaborate on is, like, you know, firstly, for some reason, a lot of people just kind of got the misconception that you just really did not like gay people. And I was always trying to, like, you know, tell people that's not really the case. It's not that she has anything against gay people necessarily, because, like, people don't know the close relationship. I have a great aunt, your aunt, who's almost like your mom, who is a gay woman. She's a lesbian woman that essentially helped raise you. She helped raise me. So whereas it didn't necessarily,
and we love her.
And love her down. People don't really know her, but the moral of the story is, what I kind of wanted you to elaborate to people is how, like, you know, me growing up and coming out as a gay man, how it affected you as a parent, and how your views have slowly changed over time.
I don't think you being gay affected me. I mean, you know how I feel about the other stuff. Now, I want you to be a man at all times, and we're gonna have that conversation. But I mean, I don't.
But you know, I never, even in being younger, I never really, well, me being a confused younger child, and like me liking to do hair and makeup, because, you know, hair and makeup is something I do on the normal. Me doing hair and makeup, and me being uneducated about what I really wanted. And you never had a gay child. Like, a lot of people, I feel like, of course, you say what you say sometimes, and sometimes it may come off crazy, but there was never a rule book on how to raise a gay child, let alone a gay child that, you know, play in wigs and makeup. And I was very different. I was a lot for you. You didn't really know how to raise me. You never had a rule book on that. So with that being said,
my thing was to just be your mama and to love you and to protect you and to prepare you for the world. That was my focus.
Mom, put your phone on D&D.
Hold on. Okay. I wasn't really focused on your sexuality. You know, regardless of what that was gonna be, I had to do my job to make sure that you was prepared for the world. And at the end of the day, I heard someone down there comment say she don't like you in wigs and makeup and stuff. I mean, if I could be honest, I don't. When I look at it, it looks just like me. I mean, it almost scares me. And yes, he is beautiful, you know, when he transforms. But as a mama who raised her boys on her own, and you didn't have a father, you know what I'm saying? I had to be everything. It was just like, you know, for me, I just needed y'all to grow up and be able to be everything that we did not have. I just wanted y'all to know how to be men. You understand where I'm coming from? And I think that as far as the whole LGBT community, everything that's going on now, and I've told you before, you know, it's all sexual preference. You know, it's L for lesbian, B for bisexual, G for gay. It's all about sexual preference. So when it comes to children, we don't need to be tying this to children. Grown folks do what y'all do, but all of that other stuff is just starting to be too much. And if people can't understand it, I'm not here to stroke anybody's ego. I'm not here to apologize. I'm just here to say that I feel as though we need to make sure that we are protecting children, you know, whether it's LGBT, whether it's heterosexual, whether it's whatever. We need to make sure that we allow children to be kids as long as they possibly can. Tell her I'm doing an interview. I'll call her right back. We need to allow, you know, innocence. Once innocence is gone, it's gone. And that probably has a lot to do with me being violated at the age of 5. You understand where I'm coming from? I think that it's important. Hold on. I'm in an interview.
She said it's very important.
I'll call you right back. Okay. Okay.
Imani, back up.
It wasn't me. It was Miss King.
That's my little sister.
All right.
Okay, so back to the conversation of, you know, like me growing up, hair and makeup, and that being my artistic form of expression.
Someone says, why is it okay to express a heterosexual expression? Okay, so listen to this. What I'm talking about is children, like in heterosexual.
Ignore the comments. Like,
wait a minute. No, I need to. I need to explain this. And like in heterosexual households, you're not telling children about pee and vagina at the age of 5, 6, or 7. Children not running around with shirts on their back that represent any type of sexuality. So if it's not being taught at that young of an age for heterosexuals, it definitely does not need to be taught for LGBT. No one in my household taught or influenced my son to be gay. If you're gonna be gay, then that's what's gonna happen. No one has to influence you as a child. So my thing is to make sure that we are allowing children to be innocent while they are minors.
And another question I have for you, because I feel like being that you truly do know me, like you know me better than anybody else, a lot of these comments, they think they know me, but you sit next to me. You're someone who knows me than anybody in this live probably ever will. Do you believe in the fact that do you like that this is just the way I am? Like a lot of people tend to think that being gay is just necessarily just a choice. Like I just woke up one day and chose like men. And being that you've seen me from a very young age and you kind of just know that I was always this way. Like, you know, I highly doubt you can just look up and see a day, oh, Jay changed on this day, or this is a period where Jay started to change. And when I say Jay, that's my regular name. People don't call me Jay.
Well, I wouldn't say change, son, but I would say evolve. And what I wanted to do was, even when you were younger, and I would say to myself, and I would say, dang, I think, you know, my son is gonna be gay. And I think I may have noticed it before you did, but it wasn't even my job. But it wasn't my job to encourage it, because I've been a child before, and I know that as we grow, sometimes our minds change, or sometimes we switch up. I mean, we go through a lot of different trials and tribulations as we're maturing and going from, you know, an adolescent to a teenager to an adult. So while you were a child and you were in my home, I was watching, but I just wanted to let you be you. I didn't feel as though it was my job to force you to be gay or straight. You know, it just wasn't our focus. You know, my focus was what? Get your education. Baby, you ain't got to work. Mama gonna hold it down. Get your education so you can grow up. You can have money. You don't have to go to prison. Don't make the same mistakes mama did. That was my focus. I've gotten you here now, and people need to understand that at the end of the day, whether these your friends or not, it ain't a motherfucker, excuse me, in this world that love you more than me. Okay? Not even your daddy. Not even your daddy. Don't nobody love you more than me. When it's time to ride, mama coming. You already know that. So you can never allow any outside opinion come in between the bond that you and I have. So
it never will.
I know that it bothers you sometimes, because people may see my Condoleezza Club interview the other day, because I think they're coming around now and seeing my perspective of where I'm coming from. You understand where I'm coming from? But I don't like when people attack you because of me or my opinions. Like, people try to attack me because of you too. At the end of the day, that's still my son. But what we got to learn and understand is that in this world, we all got a right to believe what we want to believe. Just like you all have a right to believe that what you all are doing is right, people have a right to believe that it's wrong. But never let anybody's opinion of you discourage you or stop you from being great. I love my children regardless. I don't care if y'all gay or straight. That's not my issue. Like, I don't have to answer for that. But what I do care about is the fact that you all understand that as a Black race, we have to continue to reproduce, and it is a must that we protect our children. That's the bottom line. Because I guarantee you, I don't know how many people watching this live right now. How many people you got watching it right now, Jay? I don't know. Just give me a wild
It's
number.
3,300 people.
So let's say we got 3,300 people on here. I can almost guarantee you that 2,700 of the people watching this live right now have been touched or violated as a child. So what we have to stop doing is acting like those predators do not exist. You know, child molestation and pedophilia is a real thing, y'all. Come on now. And the majority of us that were violated, not everybody, but the majority of us that were violated, we were all violated by somebody that we trusted. It was someone either we trusted or somebody that our mamas trusted or somebody that our families trusted. So if someone is touching a child, that is pedophilia. So I've been touched as a child. I know it's pedophile.
That's why I was actually about to stop you, because you kind of like, I think you kind of shell shocked the comments for a second, because it was like, hold on, wait, not me, girl. Like, they kind of did, like, they hit a left turn.
I didn't say everyone,
and
but you got to
let me explain.
Yeah,
why
I'm
she
reading
feels
the
that
comments.
way. That being your personal experience and from what you were younger, one thing a lot of people don't know about my mom, because a lot of people tend to look at the bad thing. The reason why my mom has this point of view, when my mom was younger, she was molested as a child. And now my mom actually has a foundation that helps sexually abused children. My mom has done events that have helped over 500, sexually abused children. Like, she has foundations every year where, like, she gets Christmas toys for little girls, done all type of camps to help these children. Like, it's pictures that I'm sure you could pull up or y'all can find on the internet, of me when I was very, very younger. We were doing, like, humanitarian work, like, just tell them about your foundation, Mom. Like, elaborate on that.
I mean, just to recap on what he's saying, over the years, I've created a bunch of foundations to help victims of sexual abuse. Not only victims of sexual abuse, but people coming home from prison and trying to reestablish or rebuild their lives. I know that sexual abuse destroys lives, because that's kind of what started my path to prison. It happened to me. I went and told. Didn't nobody do nothing about it. So I started acting out, getting in trouble, looking for love in all the wrong places. I lost my innocence, became a thought out here on these streets. Prior to my baby being born, I was a wild one. God forgives, amen. But the girl was hot.
Why
shit.
would
Do
you
you
say
hear where
that?
I'm coming from? I just gotta let them know. But anyway, now let me stop joking. But I didn't have that respect or that value, because it was taken away from me. And just in everything that I have, I just want to help children. You know what I'm saying? If I can. And I know that it doesn't help by pushing or hypersexualizing our children before it's time. You understand where I'm coming from? So,
and can I pause you right there to elaborate on that a little bit? Because me and you, we both are very dominant personalities. I get it from you. Our conversations will literally freight train each other, and we'll end up two different places. So let me elaborate on that. As gay men, a lot of the times I feel like we are hypersexualized, because firstly, being that we are not able to, like, where heterosexual people maybe in school, they date, they get boyfriends, they go on dates, Valentine's Day, they passing cards around in the classroom. They have a slower progression into dating and then from dating sex. As gay men, being that we don't have that experience, some of our first experiences as gay men are just hypersexualized. Grindr, hooking up. Like, the gay community is sometimes very hypersexual, because I feel like we do not get the smooth transition and ease into dating and learning to value and respect ourselves as a lot of people do. Like, one thing I can say for myself, well, of course my BIGO audience knows because I talk to y'all a lot. I never lost my virginity till I was 18. You know what I'm saying? I never did.
Hey, bro.
But I know, I'm just saying.
Hey, bro, I don't want to hear all that. I don't want to hear all that, bro. That ain't
okay, but listen, I'm 11.
Yeah, I don't want to know you like that. I don't want to know you like that, bro.
Story.
I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to know you
like that. Let me finish. I personally feel like, due to my mom being the way she was, I was not hypersexualized to be out there, and excuse my French, mom, but you know how I get it from you. I was not out there fucking at a young age.
What the hell? Hey, man.
I'm serious.
Wait a minute. I'm
it's
still
a part
your
of the
mama.
conversation.
Just because I cuss don't mean you can cuss.
But it's a part of the thing. Okay, so we're going to move on. But because of my mom and how I was raised, I did not start early like a lot of my friends did.
No, because I did enough starting for all of us.
Stop saying that.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
But the God is good. Because I ain't even got, the Lord's so good, I ain't even got a yeast infection. That's how favored I've been from the Lord. He spared me.
So, with that being said, what the fuck is wrong? I'm sorry. Why would you say that in front of all of these? What is wrong with? And y'all wonder why I'm just a little bit off. Okay, so let me go ahead.
And so I, like, my husband is sitting right here, right? And I'm a good girl now, but I'm just not ashamed of my past. And I don't mind sharing my past, and I don't mind sharing my mistakes so that you guys can learn from me. So, like, there is a difference between a wise person and a smart person. And I've told my children this all the time. And I hope y'all can see I know how to switch up, right? I can be ratchet. I can be conservative. I can be whatever you need. I can go
another thing that I get from you, because I'm like that.
From the White House to the trap to the club. I can do it all. Okay, so there's a difference between a wise man and a smart man, right? So me, I was smart. And what I mean by that is, by being smart, I was someone that I learned from my own mistakes. But I've always told my children to be wise. And so what being wise means is that you learn from the mistakes of others. So you all look at Mama Angie and say, dang, Auntie Angie, she done been to jail, she done been to prison. Well, what happened? Well, if you listen to me, you don't have to go to prison yourself. You can learn from my mistakes and be better. And that's what I've always wanted for you. So for all of my children on here that are a part of the LGBTQ community, right? I want you to know that Mama Angie loves you all. I want you all to make sure that you protect yourselves, right? Always stand and fight for what you believe in. Never be ashamed of who you are, and do not let the opinions of others stop you from fighting for what you believe in, okay? I am always going to advocate for my men to be men, because you can be gay and still be a man. At the end of the day, as Black women, it has been very hard for us raising these children on our own. Y'all know that we have struggled. JV, and you watched your mama struggle, and you struggle with me, baby. And you know it was days that me and you was melting down blocks of candles, making candles, standing on the corner, selling candles, selling books. We struggled to make it, but baby, we finally made it, okay? But know that as Black women, we need our men, and we need our sons, we need our husbands, we need our fathers, we need y'all. And that's where I'm at. And if y'all can't understand that, and we ain't killing our babies, right? The real race is, if y'all paying attention to Planned Parenthood, I gotta tell y'all the truth. If y'all paying attention to Planned Parenthood and these dirty ass Democrats, I know y'all say y'all liberals, but y'all see all they talk about. Black women need access to abortion. People of color need access to abortion. If Black people don't have access, they are fighting so hard for us to stop our reproduction. We are, after 400 years, we are still the minority because we have aborted over 46% of our race. So let's focus on not getting pregnant so we don't have to kill our babies. So
and also, because I fell into this trap the other day. So I'm not going to let you do it. I was on here having this conversation, and because what I said, sharing some of my beliefs, I kind of got baited into this trap of being for taking away women's rights, and I know that you're not for that. So I want you to elaborate on the fact.
As a woman, let me speak on that.
Yeah.
So when we talk about women's rights, y'all got to wake up for a minute. First of all, we have to ask, why would the government give us
I really don't even want to dive into this
Excuse me, sir.
topic because
Excuse me, sir. No. Let me speak. I need to educate them a little bit. So we first have to ask the question as to why would the government give us a right to kill our children and get away with it? Okay? So when you talking about women's rights, what about the right of the baby? Because if it's a female child, it will eventually be a woman. What about the child's right to live? So nobody that's advocating for abortion has ever been aborted. So if you feel as though that God has blessed you and given you the right to live, and you have the right to say someone else should die or not be allowed to live, then you are in the wrong yourself. So, hey, at the end of the day, Jay, everybody not going to agree. If a person sees nothing wrong with aborting their own child, you can't say, I don't give a damn about aborting my own baby, and then go stand on the front line talking about Black Lives Matter. Well, how do Black Lives matter if you just aborted your black baby? Either Black Lives Matter or they don't. Because all of us got here because somebody mama got pregnant. Now y'all want to skip this topic. Y'all need to talk about it if y'all saying Black Lives Matter.
We ain't going off topic. You should have came when we had this topic.
Babies y'all done aborted? How many gay and trans babies done been aborted?
Well.
Anyway, next, what we doing? Because I need to make another phone call. We're going to go ahead and skip. They don't want to talk about killing the babies. They want to.
We already had this conversation. I wanted you to, you should have came on when we had this conversation. But sometimes you being in advantage of life comes to see as if you just don't want women to have rights, or you're against women's rights, and that's not necessarily.
I'm against killing babies.
Our views are a little bit different.
Women shouldn't have the right to kill their babies because a woman can't get pregnant without a man. And if I was pregnant by my husband right now, and let's just say he tripped me by mistake and I fell and the baby died, they'll lock him up and take him to prison for feticide. So if the man killed his child that he made, it's murder. But if the woman killed a child, it's a choice. Come on, man. It's either you killing the baby or you not. Let's move on.
Okay, so back to what I was saying. Sometimes you get mixed up. Your views get mixed up with my views a lot of the times. We have similar views in that.
Hold on. It's not your body. Somebody said it's our body at the end of the day. No,
Mom,
it's not.
You can't address every comment. So sometimes our views get mixed up. You can't read every comment, Mom. We're not ever gonna get to move on. She cut me out. We
hang this shit up. I'm gonna hang this shit up. I wish you would mute me.
Okay, don't.
Then let me make this last little point, and I'm gonna shut up. Just make me make this last.
No, let me make my point. Then you make.
No, hold up, because somebody said something to me. This is all I'm saying, y'all. It's not your body. You and your mother do not have the same body. You see Javian and you see me. His body was in my body. It's not my body. If I had had an abortion, I would have killed Javian. I would not have killed myself. So it is not your body, okay? Because none of you and your mom have the same body. All right, Jay, you can go ahead and mute the mic.
I don't have to mute it. But okay, so a lot of the time, this is another thing. That was actually a great segue. Whether some people agree with what you're saying, or like they do agree, or maybe they don't agree. That's a great segue into my next topic. A lot of the times, people mix up your views and my views because your mom, I automatically agree with a lot of the things you say. So, firstly, where we kind of differentiate on the whole abortion topic, though I notice that I'm pro-alternative. I'm not necessarily pro-life or pro-choice. I'm pro-alternative, which means that I am in favor of life. I would love for women to find an alternative besides abortion.
Get the baby up for adoption.
But hold on, I'm not finished. I'll let you talk. So in some cases, I understand why women may need to have an abortion. Like, I can understand in certain situations, rape instances, or sometimes women are just genuinely not ready, or some women are just genuinely unfit parents, and the adoption system
So why
is
you fucking close your motherfucking legs? Quit letting niggas nut in you.
That's where I get it from. 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 Do y'all see? Y'all get it? Y'all get it? Do y'all understand that whole unapologetic, I don't care what people think, I'm gonna say what I want to say aspect? Do y'all get where I get it from? Do y'all see? Y'all understand? I couldn't help but be the way I am because of her. So when I get to saying stuff out of my mouth sometimes, y'all be like, Jaybz, you can't say that. Jaybz, no. This is where I get it from. It's just in my blood. I can't help it. So I am pro-alternative in the stance that I am for women finding an alternative besides just killing their babies. I want women to be more educated. I want women to learn to value themselves more. I want to give women resources and other options. But in some cases, I do understand why a woman may get an abortion. I do understand that some women get raped. I do understand that carrying their babies full term could really injure some women. So I understand in some cases why women have abortions, but I'm pro-alternative in this aspect that I would like for that to be the last choice for women. I'm not Adam Mermaid. That's not her show. I don't even like her. But yes, so moving on, we're going to move on to the next topic of, let me unmute you.
You ain't got but one more motherfucking time to mute my mic. I'm going to tell you that right now. You ain't got but one more time to mute my mic when I'm trying to get my point across. But go ahead. Yeah, I approach, y'all got a choice or whatever. But we're going to move on from the abortion topic. Because at the end of the day, I'm not agreeing with none of y'all killing my damn babies. Don't get pregnant. If you get pregnant, get the baby up for adoption. Okay. Let the child live. That's just how I feel. And y'all don't have to agree with me, but I'm not the enemy for saying our children should live. Just know that. Okay, keep it going. Let's go to the next one.
No, but okay, as a closer to this topic, I understand that a lot of people may not agree with you and a lot of people may debate with you. But what I can say is in the comments, a lot of y'all, some of y'all may have had children. My mom is someone who has 5 children. A lot of people haven't had children. At least I think you're better fit to speak on this than me. You're a woman and your mother. So with that being said, I don't really think my opinion and what I think holds as much weight as what you think and how you feel. Or any other mother. Because I'm not a woman and I don't have children. So
as men, y'all gotta stop feeling like y'all don't have a voice or y'all don't have a say, because women can't get pregnant without men. So you carry the seed, you create the life. Stop feeling like you don't have a say because you're the man. Because what's not fair is if you don't want the baby and she had a baby anyway, she can go down there and the government is going to make you be responsible for the next 18 years. But if she don't want the baby, she get to go kill the baby. Come on, man. These laws don't make no sense whatsoever. And more men need to stand up. Even if you got a woman pregnant and you wanted your child, you can beg and cry, and I can beg and cry, and that heifer could still go down there and abort our baby. So at the end of the day, it's a vote against life. You understand? And when y'all say y'all pro-choice, y'all have to understand that the opposite of life is death. They just use the word pro-choice because they wanted to sound good. It's really pro-death. Because if it wasn't alive, you wouldn't need an abortion to kill it. Dead things do not grow. So the best thing that I can say for us to do is to avoid getting pregnant, because if you don't create the life, you don't have to worry about ending the life. And a lot of you are younger, but I promise you and I can guarantee you that you never forget the babies that you abort. When you grow up, you are going to remember those. Aborting a baby don't not make you a parent. It just makes you a parent of a dead baby. You don't ever forget it. So that's all I can tell y'all. But at the end of the day, everybody got rights. And if someone doesn't have an issue with killing their own baby, that's on them. But I promise you, them babies gonna haunt you. But anyway, what's next?
I had to mute myself because my mic is echoing. So moving into the next topic, you are in. Am I echoing really bad?
Just a little bit. I am having a congressional race. I'm running for Congress for the 5th District of Georgia. I'm running against John Lewis. Ask me if I'm crazy. But I just felt like I could really bring some real change and really go in there and fight for some issues that really affect us. You know, like I know how important it is to have gay rights because I have a son that I would never want to be mistreated or to be oppressed in any type of way. But I also understand the importance of making sure that we have laws that protect our children, not only making sure that we have laws that protect our children, but also making sure that we focus on disaster recovery management. We have to make sure that Black people are getting money. If we really, 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 not only Black people, but the whole community, it ain't just for Black people, but if we really, really, really want to be free, then financial literacy is important. So job growth, job creation. Another thing that's very important for me is, of course, you guys know criminal justice reform. This is why I work with this administration currently, but it is so important for me, Jaybz, and after raising you all with your fathers being in prison, to make sure that we do everything we can to put rehabilitations in prison and we rehabilitate people versus punishing them. I think a lot of our children have grown up fatherless because of this justice reform system that we have, because of Joe Biden's 3 strikes you're outlaw. Not only that, but religious freedom. Everybody should have the right to practice religious. You have the freedom of religion, the freedom to practice religion however they see fit. Another issue for me is the homelessness issue in Atlanta. Like for me, I've been here all this time, and this is the first time I've ever seen them create like tent cities. They literally have created their own communities. You understand where I'm coming from? All up under the bridges. You go downtown in Atlanta now, and you walking down Peachtree, you got to walk over people. So I think that it's also important to get the community involved in this campaign. So many times we see politicians that don't interact with the people. You get them elected, then the next thing they know, you're going to Washington, you can't talk to them on Instagram, they're not answering their phone, they're not making any appointments. But I really want this campaign to be about the people. I want everybody to get involved. I want us to come together and figure out what we can do to create an atmosphere that's healthy and thriving for us all, whether it's Black, white, gay, Black, whatever. Hey, y'all can say what y'all want to say about Trump. Long as when I go in there and I talk to that man about Black issues and he listen and he acts, that's what we gonna do. Ain't nobody waiting no 4 more years till y'all get another president to try to get Black people out of jail. No, we gonna go in there and work to get them out. And then I'm gonna tell y'all something else. You know, y'all deal with racism all the time.
Well, can I segue real quick?
No, y'all go in the beauty supply. Y'all go in the beauty supply store, spend your money with them racists. They gonna follow you all around the store, treat you like a doggone slave, like you finna get ready to steal something. You still gonna give them your money. Half the people y'all go to work for, they prejudice. You still get up and go to work with them. So, you know, everybody gonna have something to say. But at the end of the day, I have to operate in my favor, and I have been given favor with this administration. I wasn't given favor with any other administration, and it is my duty to use that favor to advocate on behalf of my community. And that's what I'm going to do. And I mean, look at the results.
So that's why I wanted to pause and kind of let you elaborate on that part, because there are the key topics that I really want you to explain, because they're quintessential to who you are as a person, and they help people to understand more what they may sometimes not understand. So people just get to oh, hold on, I'm gonna mute you real quick while I say this part. But listen, people get to be in the comments and they be like, your mom support Trump this. People make a lot of jokes about that. Firstly, it's not that my mom overly just agrees with what Trump does as a person, because we have had several talks. Well, no, I know I'm finna let you speak, but I'm making a segue. Okay, but let me make this segue. So it's not overly that she just agrees with what he does as a person. First of all, this is the first president that ever really tried to work with my mom. Obama never really reached out to try to work with my mom for whatever she's doing. So I feel like y'all can't really be mad or upset at her for working with the people who have reached out and tried to work with her. What would y'all rather her do? Sit at home and be mad and say fuck the president, or go to the White House and, you know, work with a bad person to do some good? Think about that. But go ahead.
I was saying, let me speak for myself.
I
went, okay, so I'm gonna be honest, right? When I first started looking at politics and paying attention to what was going on, I was hearing what everybody was saying, but my godmother, Alveda King, who was someone that basically kind of rescued me from prison and helped me get back on my feet and has also been very active in my children's lives as well. She was working very closely with the president. So I'm sitting up here and I know this lady would never mislead me or steer me wrong. And I'm watching her and I'm like, why are you working with this man that everybody hates? You understand where I'm coming from? And the more I start going around and the more I start paying attention, the more I begin to get it. And then not only that, let me just give y'all some real tea, right? So y'all know the story about how I had Imani in prison. And so I remember probably about 2 years
Imani
ago,
being my little sister, she had my little sister in prison, but elaborate on that story. Because a lot of them don't know.
I'm just going to shut the hell up and let you tell the story. You
Well,
going to tell
I'm
the story?
trying to elaborate.
You gonna let me?
This is my platform, not yours. So where
Okay,
people know
but you
me, but they
invited
might
me
not.
on, bruh.
But listen, I'm trying to explain to you.
Golly.
Some people may not know the story, so you skip past that part that is important.
Woo! Okay, so anyway, like I was saying, because they throw me off track, or I was trying to say. Okay, so I was watching maybe about a year, 2 years ago, where I'm seeing everybody was like, oh, the president, he separated families at the border. He put kids in cages, yada, yada, yada. And I was like, wait a minute, what's going on? And then I remember when I was in prison, and I was in prison for a nonviolent crime, right? It was fraudulent paperwork, kind of like the same thing that's going on with the border. And I'm like, they snatched my baby right out of my arms, and I'm an American citizen. This was 2005. Trump wasn't even president. So here's the thing. Anybody that's ever been arrested, you're going to be separated from your family and separated from your children. That is American law. If you go to jail, your kid is not going to jail with you, right? So I was like, oh, okay, wait a minute. So they lying about that. So they go to media playing again. So then, not only that, he put out a call. He said, well, if anybody knows of anybody that's been in prison, that's been unjustly treated, he said, come talk to me. Let's see if we can get him out. Listen, I went in and talked to the man, got the First Step Act passed. We done got almost 10,000 people free from prison. 91% of them are Black. Not only did we do that, but because of my story, Jaybz's mom and his sister, the president has made it illegal for them to chain women during the bed, during childbirth. Not only that, we've advocated with him on behalf of HBCUs. We got the man to permanently fund HBCUs. Not only did he permanently fund them, it was a federal ban put against faith-based HBCUs. We got that lifted. We went on to fight for the Second Step Act. I mean, we went on to push for police reform. If you guys have been following my page, I just went in there last month asking them to ban the chokehold. Like, we are really getting things done. And the media is so hell-bent on pushing Trump as a racist that they're not being honest and not showing you all what Trump is doing. So at the end of the day, we can't vote for Biden because Biden was in office for 8 years before Trump, and they had that chance to turn over that 94 crime bill, which he did not do. So we would be fools to believe that they're going to do it this time. Their agenda is not Black people. Their agenda is just the Black vote. So at the end of the day, if any of you have family members that are in prison that you want to come home, if y'all focused on reuniting families at the border, I need y'all to have that same energy about reuniting our families that's been separated by mass incarceration. And I'm not here to tell anybody, how to vote. Because at the end of the day, what we should focus on, how they've been fooling us for so long, is we just been voting for the people that we think we like. We can't vote for people. We got to vote for policy. Because voting for people is what get us duped. And them Democrats, even
vote for people not for who they are, but for what they do.
When it comes to mass incarceration, and even with the abortion issue, like what they're fighting for on the floor right now is not to take away a woman's right to kill a baby. They're going to let you kill your baby because they don't want a world full of Black people. So all of their abortion clinics in Black areas. So I promise you, as long as y'all go in them abortion clinics, they're going to let you. But what they're doing now is they want to pay for it. Like, how we going to vote for a party that want to pay for Black children to be aborted? Like, come on like that. If y'all really about black life, then y'all know that's not the move. You know what I'm saying? And all of y'all need to be following my Instagram page so y'all can get truth. Y'all need to be following my page so you can have your eyes open to truth. If you don't want to be woke and you don't want the truth, don't follow me. But I would encourage all of you all to follow me so y'all can know what's going on. Y'all need to wake up and know what's going on in this world.
Okay, so whereas I feel like a lot of people are ignorant enough, and even though I don't agree with Trump as a person at all, a lot of people are ignorant enough. They just hear Trump and they just, racism, racist, and they get besides the point. They're losing what you're actually fighting for. Are you fighting against one person? Are you more wrapped up and hell-bent on fighting one person where you lose the fight for your people? So I'm not voting for Trump. Don't get what I'm saying besides yourself. But what I'm saying is...
Hey, this ain't the Trump campaign. This is
Stanton. It's really not. It's not about that. But let me finish.
Listen, y'all need to vote for Angela Stanton King for Congress. Why are we talking about Trump?
Let me
vote
finish.
For me. Can I get your vote?
So what I was saying was... she don't even know she muted. But what I was saying was I love black people, of course, and I'm all for black people. I'm all for black people.
Vote cool. They say they vote for me. That's all I need to hear.
Okay,
I work with Trump. Y'all ain't got to work with Trump. Let me deal with Trump on my end and do what we need to do, and y'all deal with me.
And people keep synonymizing what you're doing with what Trump's doing because you work with him. He's the current president. You work with him.
Somebody got to sign it.
And let me say this also in defense of my mom, because of course that's just my mom. You can say what you want about her. You can say you don't like her because of how she feels about this and this and this. Take away how you feel about her as a person and look what she's done. Y'all can call her all type of coons.
Why would they feel?
But wait. Let me finish, Ma. You keep over talking me. That's why I gotta mute you. This is my show. I love you.
Okay, and I bet you I'm gonna hang this motherfucker up. Mute me.
Okay, but what I'm saying is, let me please. But okay,
that
so
damn grown shit.
A lot of people get into how they feel about her as a person and lose track of what she does. Y'all can say coon this, coon that. I don't like her because she does this and this and this and this. But take away how you feel about her as a person and look what she's done. How many of y'all parents have helped free over 10,000 black people? Y'all calling her coon. She's not freeing white people. She's not getting white people out of jail. She's helped free over 10,000 black people.
Hold on.
So with that being said, I feel like that does matter.
Hold on.
And
we've gotten a couple of white people out of prison.
But what I'm saying is the majority of the people you're fighting for are black people.
And that is because, and let me just, and that is because the majority of people in prison are black, and that is because of Joe Biden. So when y'all say y'all voting for Joe Biden, you're voting against your people. If you had a choice to vote for who put black people in slavery and who let black people out of slavery, that choice should be clear, because Biden is the one that locked us up and Trump is the one that let us free. Regardless of how you want to feel, when we get to the facts are Joe Biden massively incarcerated black America and Trump set them free. That's just the truth.
Well,
my money on Trump.
You and the people you worked with helped up under Trump to free black people.
Yeah, but y'all need to understand that us, like me, I advocate, I fight, and I had a very compelling story that moved him to sign the executive order. But at the end of the day, we got to remember that we're not the president. Only the president could do that. Trump did that. And if he is this racist that they say he is, know that he did not have to sign that executive order, bringing nearly 91% of 10,000 people that are black home from prison. Not only that, let's also talk about the fact that this president has not only defunded Planned Parenthood, but called them out for them targeting African Americans. Remember, 46% of our population has been, no, I'm just saying, if y'all talking about the black vote, why are we aborting our votes and why are we killing our own army? Imagine how much stronger and much more prominent we would be if half of our population had not been aborted. There's strength in numbers. That's just good game. You need to get that from your mama. You want $1 or you want $1 million? right? I could come put $1 in your hand right now. But if I had $1 million to put in your hand or $3 million, you would be that much better. You would be that much stronger.
Okay.
There's strength in numbers.
Moving off of that whole topic, back to the central thing, because we get real derailed, and I didn't really want this to be a politics thing, because a lot of these, well, no, I'm saying it took a slight turn into politics, and a lot of these people,
yeah, this is supposed to just be about us,
right? That's why I keep trying to, but when you get on your tangents and you let me talk, don't mute my mic, then this will we end up. So, rarely get back in. Boom, back to the central statement. A lot of you guys may not like my mom. The whole reason for me going down this alley, a lot of you guys may not like my mom because she has worked with the President Donald Trump. But as far as the whole Coon comment, this woman has helped free over 10,000 black people.
They don't like
period.
He
don't add nothing onto that. Don't add nothing onto that. Don't add nothing onto that.
He don't like it.
This woman who y'all call Coon has helped free over 10,000 black people. Period. Don't add nothing onto that. Just let that sink in.
Some of y'all uncles
10,000
and daddies and cousins and nephews and mamas and sisters and some of y'all people. And we, if Harriet Tubman was afraid to work with white people, she would have never freed the slaves. You can't be afraid. We gotta, take advantage of the favor that God bestows us. We have to take advantage of opportunities. When the window of opportunity is open, you gotta slide in it. Just imagine if I would have been on something emotional and be like, nah, I'm not going to go tell Trump my story. I would have never been able to change the law. Like, the pain and suffering that I experienced, no other woman has to experience that. You understand where I'm coming from? Someone said, what if you can't raise them financially? Baby, I grew up poor, but I'm not poor now. And not only that, my life is mine. So now I'm a grown woman.
We're not going back to that. Stay on topic.
I've given my children life. So the best gift that you can give is life. All the rest to take care of itself. Stop letting these people tell you we'd be better off killing our babies and that abortion is health care, because that's a lie. That's a lie. They want to keep us the minority. That's what I want to get y'all to see. Once y'all understand that and you still want to make a decision, that's up to you. But understand that these people are diabolical. And this is their way of keeping us the minority. I need y'all to have that truth. Okay. What else, Jay?
So now, moving out of politics. We're not going back. Clip it off. Y'all may not like my mom before. I mean, y'all may. Well, y'all don't know her not to like her.
Jay, you can't be worried about.
I'm not. Let me.
Somebody like your mom,
because you gonna throw me off the way you said I was throwing you off. You guys may not. No, don't hang. You throwing me off when you say stuff. You're throwing me off. It's my interview. Okay, so a lot of people may not agree with my mom for how she feels about certain topics or some of the things she says, but ultimately look into the character of her heart and what she does and how she's helped people. She's helped people, and that's just period. Now, moving on. We out of this. So my younger relationship with a lot of my siblings, for some reason, a lot of people have the common misconception that I used to just get bullied by my brothers and everything and all like that. Like I just used to get beat up by my brothers, and I was like, I had a regular relationship with brothers.
No, he used to beat them.
I was the
bully.
He
used to beat them. He was the bully. They weren't the bullies. He was the damn bully.
I was the bully. But that's something that I wanted to clear up.
Who said that? Who thought that?
Somebody would bully. I'm joking. Okay, so anyways, for some reason, it's this common misconception that I used to get abused by my brothers and by my siblings. And if anything, I was the antagonist when I was younger. Y'all think I read on BIGO? I used to read people in real life. And that's kind of just me growing up with my brothers. But ultimately, I'm really close with them. I love them. If I pick up the phone and call them, they love me. I don't even think it's much that we need to elaborate on that.
Nah, that wasn't no roach. It was a damn gnat.
They giving it up.
Ain't no roaches around here, B. We stopped living with roaches about How long we been roach free, Jay? About good 16, 17 years.
We got money now on both.
Yeah.
Anyways.
We know what they look like.
Now what I'm gonna do is
albino roaches too. We ain't gonna never forget the struggle. We just ain't got them now. But go ahead, baby. I'm sorry.
Please. Well, I don't care. But okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually open up the panel to
not the questions.
I'm trying to think if I really care to do it.
Let them on for a minute.
Yeah, I'm gonna let people on for like 7.
It's 10:13. I gotta go at 10:20. That'll be perfect. Come on.
Yeah. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let some people up who have genuine real life questions. If you say anything relatively disrespectful, I'm gonna kick you and block you myself.
Boy, you gonna get roasted by Jay and his mama. That's what.
And I don't think this is what you want. So
this is not what you want, B.
And if a big old girl try it, I promise you, I will bully you until I get a hate train. But with that being said, I'm not scared. I ain't no punk. You ain't no punk. We gonna let the people up. And if you have a genuine question, come up. Let me see. Who do I want to add up first? I'm not letting up none of the no. It's just no shade. Who do I want to let up first? I actually want to let up some girls because I think they may have genuine stuff what they want to say. Let me see. Let me add up Leah. Go ahead, boo.
Hello. Thank you. Hello. Well, first of all, I just want to commend you on being here and telling your testimony. I definitely want to commend you on that. What I wanted to ask was, what is your take on mental illness as well as furthering education within the community of African communities on mental illness?
Well, we definitely need to make sure that we are pushing support for people that have mental illness. I think that when we saw a big influx of people going to prison was when they closed down all of the mental health institutions. And what they did was started just throwing people in prison and not rehabilitating them, just punishing them. I think a lot of us deal with mental health issues. A lot of us have traumas that we've experienced from the past that we're not able to move by. So that'll definitely be something that's on my agenda. And school choice for our children, to make sure that our children have access to the opportunities that their children have access to. So thank you so much for asking that question. Both of those are very important.
Yeah, Leah, you ate that. No shade. Look at that. That was a good question. And she's a part of my family on here. I'm like a founder. I'll explain it to you another time. Who do I want to let up? Let me let up Louis from the New Era. I'm going down the list of people I know. I'm really not letting up people I don't know. Like, cause there's some people who genuinely got questions and there's some people who want to key. I'm gonna let up the people I know, no shade. Go ahead, boo.
Hello, I'm a frontline worker as well as a frontline protester. And I just wanted to know what was your views on the rebuilding the justice system.
Well, that's exactly what I'm fighting for. I've been involved in criminal justice reform for the last 2 years. We definitely have to rebuild our justice system, and that's also another reason why I'm running for Congress. I hope you all understand that as long as they make the laws, we have to abide by them. So what I'm seeing now is I'm seeing them playing with our emotions, right? Because they know the laws, even with this Rayshard Brooks shooting that just took place. It's a well-known fact that the charges aren't going to stick. And they know that. So the only thing they did was they hyped us up to make us believe that we're going to get justice. And then 7-8 months later, they're going to get off. So what we need to do is start running for office, putting people in Congress that represent us so that we can make laws that make this land comfortable for all of us to live in. As long as they make the laws, we have to abide by them. So getting in, dismantling that system, creating new laws that don't target us is one of the forefronts of the fight.
That was a good question, Louis. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm going to add up Timmy and Sequin because a lot of people in the comments are saying add them. Y'all not.
So look, am I gonna get paid for this? What's all these little beans and stuff? I got some money.
Yeah, they go into your account. But I don't know if you're going to be able to transfer
You
them
about
out.
to lose your job. You about to lose your job.
I think that people really do live for you.
You about to lose your job.
Okay, so
take
Kimmy
all
and
your
Sequin.
fans, Jay. Y'all come follow me. Jaybz ain't talking about nothing. No, just
I'm deleting BIGO off her phone after this, so good luck. Timmy and Sequin, get in the request. I'm finna let y'all up. I don't really see y'all in the request, but people are telling me to add y'all.
Because you is detaining me
There goes Sequin.
for nothing.
Okay.
Entaining me. Okay, let go.
Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, it's okay, but hello, Miss Stanton. It's good to see you on BIGO, and I understand what you're doing. But I hate to tallywhack back to what you had said. You were pro-life, and you say you do believe in like alternative methods aside from just giving abortion. Was that correct, or did I mishear that?
Well, I think you got part of what I said and what Jay said as well. But I'm all for giving women other options besides abortion. Of course, I mean adoption is an option, and also helping them, right, and putting them in a position,
correct,
teaching them how to make money so they can care for their children. So I'm for anything else besides aborting, because we just, as a mother, we don't get to play Russian roulette with our children. One of the children
correct,
that we abort could be the very child that God sent to change the whole dynamics of our life situation.
Okay, so I understand. Like, I understand the comments of thinking I'm about to do the pro-life, pro-choice thing, but that wasn't what I really like meant for. It was about like doing the adoption reform. Because again, if you were looking at the adoption reform back in 1970, they did enact that act for the adoption reform to happen, but it also just passed the bill for them to fake legislation over birth certificates and hand out fake certificates after you were adopted by a certain parent. So again, a lot of their records were honestly diminished and honestly trashed. Like a lot of their old records used to be basically trashed and like put into databases so they could enact anything. Ooh, it's an echo.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I had just put on Twitter today that if I'm elected once in office, one of the things that I want to do is introduce legislation that funds adoption instead of abortion. Because what they want to do now is give billions of dollars to Planned Parenthood to abort our babies.
Right.
But people that want to adopt the babies, they have to pay all of these huge fees, sometimes mounting up to $30, $40, $50 dollars. I think that we should put that funding into adoption and put these children with families that love them. So thank you so much for bringing that up.
And then also another question I had about the adoption reform, because again, they once tried it, I believe in 2001, they tried the reform once again. That reform basically allowed for a lot of records to be to actually be enacted again. The data was released. Oh, this is all public knowledge as well. I was did a couple of research. I did a paper on this a long time ago. So again, with all the records that were released, they also with the records that were released for the new parents, they also began to assign paperwork for them to expunge basically a lot of I would say a lot of their background, a lot of their nationalities and things. You also became the new nationality of whoever adopted you. So again, you were opted. Yes. So also in some states, they with their reforms, it was also a lot of views where certain parents couldn't adopt certain kids because of I believe it was different conflicting views, religious. It was religious views. You had to adopt the religious views of who your parents was. And so with a lot of the views of you being 16 years and up with those reforms, it actually, I couldn't remember if it was 2005 or 2006. I'm sorry. I'm trying not to quote you about a lot of things wrong. So let's see. I believe I can't remember what states though, but I believe it was one of the states was Mississippi, another state was Oregon, and of course Oregon is a blue state, which like again I'm not understanding why this reform happened there. But that's also another thing. I just want you are you going to reform that as well?
So you have just brought something to my attention that I wasn't aware of, and I think that does need to be reformed. I don't think that we need to completely erase the past of these children, because once they're adults and it's time for them to learn and know truth, then they have every right to go research their history and to find their extended family. So I'm all for looking at that issue and readdressing it. So thank you for bringing that to my attention.
Yes, okay. I live.
And I want to say this too, Jay. Somebody has said something about don't get rid of abortions. You guys need to understand that even me running as a congresswoman, when you vote on issues like that, like there are over 500 votes that have to pass. So if you've got 400 votes on the floor where people are voting for abortion, you want balance. Like just I cannot in good conscience and in good faith being
Well, I
a
have a question
mother,
really quickly.
being a mother and being a queen, I just cannot go in there because to me, I feel
You are a
like I
black
will be
queen.
voting for our future children to die. So I'm not going to vote for it. And I just have to be honest with you guys, whether you vote for me or not, at least I'm not someone that's going to lie to you. But with so many people voting for our future children to die, I'm going to have to vote for them to live. And we'll see how the coins fall. But go ahead.
And also, a question I have for you in a segue of me adding up somebody else. We've talked about this personally, but I would like for you to share your views on it. I know, how do you feel about LGBTQ parents wanting to adopt? And like Sequin was saying, with abortions only being $200, they'll charge you $200 to kill a baby. But for someone who genuinely will love and nourish that child, they're trying to charge you $30,000. 200 to kill, 30,000 to love. So how do you feel about LGBTQ parents adopting?
In all honesty and fairness, I get asked this question a lot. And because I was raised by an LGBT parent, if you will, my Aunt Ellie that we spoke about before, that has been very, very active in my life. And all she ever did was love me. All she ever did was fight for me and made sure that I always had everything that I needed. And if I pick up the phone and call her right now, you know, she's gonna come for me. So I can't be against gay couples adopting children. I just can't. I think that versus killing the baby, they have and can love a child and give a child a loving home. Now, influence is one thing. We understand that, and I think that's how a lot of conservatives feel. But for me personally, I'm not against it, and I thank God for giving me the experience of having a gay parent in my life that never did nothing but show me love. So I can't sit up there and say that because somebody is gay that they can't be a good parent. That I can't say that.
Period.
I can't.
Here you go, Joanne.
Hi, how are you? I'm good. So I just had a question. Miss Angela, you're with the statement that, alternative methods like adoption or foster care, are a thing open to people. But as you being an advocate for sexual abuse, 10 out of 1,000 kids in the adoption system are neglected or abused emotionally and sexually, along with 50% will never graduate or, are more prone to homelessness. What are you doing besides pushing more funding to the adoption system, to help these kids?
Well, for one, entrepreneurship is one thing, and going back to school choice and making sure that we educate our children on how to be successful once they do graduate from school. Because here's the thing, for me personally, and I was saying this the other day, like I don't remember anybody in school ever teaching me about credit or ever teaching me about financial literacy or ever teaching me about entrepreneurship so that I did know how to make it once I am free. So I've also lived in group homes and I understand a lot of the abuse that goes on in there. But even when you talk to children that have suffered from some form of abuse like myself, they're still glad to be alive and glad to have their lives. And they've been able to go through those hardships and come out better and make better parents for their own children when they do begin to start their own lives. So it is important that we not only push money for adoption, but that we need to restabilize and reinvent our foster care system as well. And then another thing that we need to focus on when it comes to foster care children, you guys know we hear all the bad stories, but we never hear the good stories. And there are a lot of good, successful stories that come from children that have been adopted. So I don't want us to take, like we do, the 1% of rape and say that all children need to be aborted or we need to keep abortion legal because 1%, or to take the 1% of the abuse and say, oh, well, the foster care system has been completely destroyed. Life is always better than death.
Okay, perfect. That was the only question I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Joanne. You ate that up. No shade. And
I love you, Jay. Don't bring nobody else on because mama finna go. I need to finish your paperwork and mine.
You still haven't sent that in?
I did. Did you check the email? She responded. I got to send her something else.
Yeah, I got to speak to her on the second. But okay, so we're gonna wrap it up. I would want to have my mom back on here. I think that this was really good. We spent the most of the time talking with ourselves, and I think next time you come on, like, let's do a 6 panel. Let's open it up to some other people who have different views, and let's get up here and let's talk and maybe debate and like answer questions. I think that show would really eat it up. We're currently at 4,000 views, and majority of the panel it was only me and you. So that kind of just speaks for the weight that the legendary Angela Stacks hold. They call you Angela Stacks on here. That speaks for the weight that you hold on BIGO.
Love y'all.
Seriously, I think you made a lot of good points. And
I need, this what I need. If y'all in the Atlanta area, I am doing a meet and greet volunteer training for the campaign. I will have Jay let y'all know how y'all can sign up. It's going to be July 15th. In Buckhead. Y'all can come out. Y'all can meet me. Let's get on the campaign.
No.
Let's talk about
that option.
What?
I'm vetoing it. No. But
okay.
Y'all can support
online. He don't want y'all around his mama.
Y'all can support online. Y'all can support online. Y'all can support online. Y'all can donate to the campaign. But
follow my page. That's what y'all do. He can't tell y'all what to do on my page.
I can tell them what to do on mine. I support everybody, and I love my mom, and yeah, I love her so much. Shout out to Angela. The next time I bring her on, I want a lot of y'all to come up. Y'all can DM me topics that y'all be interested in and what y'all would want to talk about. And I would like to think that a lot of y'all, if your opinion didn't change of my mom, I would like to think that you got a little bit more insight into who she is. You know what I'm saying? Even if you still feel the same way, even if you feel like, oh, fuck Angela, I still don't like her, at least now you understand a little bit more about who she is as a person. And you won't listen to all the ignorant shit your faves say when they trying to read Jaybz and tell me about my mom, because now she was kind of here to speak for herself. And y'all kind of get her as a person. She's pro-black. She's pro-life. She loves children. Her being sexually abused as a child is why she feels a lot of the way she feels. She does agree with LGBTQ people adopting children. Like, she's all for it. Just kind of, hear her out versus just believing what a person who's never met her a day in their life has to say about her. So with that being said, hope y'all got to know me and Angela a little bit more. And I guess I'm finna end the show. I can't really think of nothing else to touch on. But yes, I love y'all. For the most part, we had a little couple controversial segments where it got a little extra, but for the most part, the girls really did keep it cute. Like, I probably only kicked about 1,000 people. I love y'all so much. And yes, queens. For everybody else, welcome to the block list. I'm sorry y'all have to sit there. And we definitely gonna do this again. And I would love to have some of the other girls up on the panel who got some sense, because of course I'm not gonna go for no bitch just talking to my mom crazy. Y'all know I'm not. But for people who genuinely have opinions and know how to be respectful about it, because like, no shade, Joanne came up here. I know Joanne, I was watching her in the comments. She felt some type of way about certain things, but she kept it respectful and said what she wanted to say. And I really do live for shit like this. So we gonna have to do this again. It was really successful, obviously, 4,000 views. And period, I love y'all so much. Thank y'all for allowing me to care. Like, I never thought in a million years. First of all, I hit 100K. Never thought in a million years 100,000 people will want to follow me, like I'm that entertaining or y'all like me that much. And never would I think 4,000 people will want to sit up and watch what the fuck me and my mom went through. Like, who cares? I genuinely do love y'all. And period, go to Queen Radio, go to Bo Panel or Jalen Panel or whoever finna go live after this, because I'm getting off. I love y'all. Bye.